What's up, guys? Today I will telling about one dime coin, United States Liberty of America, 1963. The 1963 Roosevelt dime is a classic U.S. coin that's part of the long-running series honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Here's a detailed breakdown of its specifications and features. Hashtag key details, year 1963. Mint marks. No mint mark, Philadelphia Mint. D and Denver Mint. NPP proof coins, Philadelphia. Though mint marks were not used on proofs until 1968 composition, 90% silver, 10% copper. Weight 18.9 millimeters, edge reeded ridged, hashtag obverse front design. Portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. Inscriptions, Liberty, in God we trust. Roosevelt's neck. The year at the bottom. Hashtag reverse back design. Torch symbolizing liberty flanked by an olive branch peace and an oak branch strength. Inscriptions, United States of America, in pluribus unum, above the torch. And one dime at the bottom. Mintage value. Philadelphia no mint mark, minted worth. Circulated, uncirculated. Denver DD minted, similar value to Philly issue. Proof coins for collectors, worth, depending on condition. Dime is 90% silver. Its melt value based on silver content is around $1.50, $2.50, depending on silver market prices. Hashtag collectibility. No major varieties or errors for this year. Look for full band FB details on the torch sharp strikes for premium value. Common in circulation but sought by silver stackers and Roosevelt dime collectors. Visual, close-up of old silver coins slowly spinning, mysterious music playing. Narrator, excited tone. What if I told you that the loose change in your pocket could be worth thousands of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. A tiny 10-cent coin from 1963, something most of us would overlook, could fetch you up to $1,000 or more. So, why is this little dime making big waves in the collector's world? Let's dive into the fascinating story of the 1963 United States dime, and trust me, you'll want to check your coin stash after this video. Segment 1. History of the coin, 25-2. Visual black and white photos of JFK Cold War era and U.S. minting process. Narrator. The year was 1963, a time of immense cultural change, Cold War tensions, and just months before America would lose President John F. Kennedy. Amid all this, the U.S. Mint was producing a coin that today is turning heads in the collector world, the 1963 Roosevelt dime. This dime was part of a series introduced in 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his passing. But the 1963 edition holds unique appeal for multiple reasons. One of the biggest, it's one of the last dimes to be struck using 90% silver before the U.S. shifted to copper nickel-clad coins in 1965. Segment 2, why it's valuable, 000-4. Visual slow zoom on a shiny 1963 dime. Text appears per 90% silver, limited mintage, historical value. Narrator. Now, let's get to the part you're really here for. Why is this coin worth up to $1,000 or more in circulated condition? Firstly, the metal content. Since it's made of 90% silver, the melt value alone is already higher than the face value, but that's just the beginning. What truly drives up the price is the collector's demand for dimes from this specific year, especially those minted in San Francisco or Denver. Even coins that have been in circulation, slightly worn, maybe a bit scratched, can still command hundreds to over $1,000 if they have certain rare traits. Examples appear: double die errors, full torch strikes, off-center minting. The key factors that can elevate a regular-looking dime into a four-figure treasure include mint errors. A misstrike or doubling in the lettering can skyrocket the value. Full bands or full torch. If the lines on the torch at the back are fully visible, it's a premium coin. San Francisco mint mark. The S mark indicates it was struck in San Francisco, less common and more collectible. Segment 3. what collectors look for 4-6. Visual, collector flipping through a coin edges and loops. Narrator, collectors, especially those who focus on silver-era coins, are always on the hunt for dimes like this. But not just any 1,963 dime, they're looking for sharp details, original luster, minimal wear, and most importantly, rarity due to errors or mint condition, even in circulated condition, which means the coin has seen everyday use. A well-preserved dime with an error like a double die reverse or a clipped planchet can be worth $500 to $1,200 or more depending on market demand. And here's the twist, some people have found these coins in pocket change, old drawers, or inherited collections without even realizing what they were holding. Segment 4. Real-life example, 6730. Visual, news clips of coin auction, eBay listing screenshots. Narrator, still not convinced? Check this out. A 1963 Roosevelt dime with an exceptional strike and minimal wear, though still classified as uncirculated, that recently sold on an online auction for over $1,050. Another with a rare die error and clear torch details fetched nearly $1,300. What looked like just an old dime turned out to be someone's next big payday. Segment 5, how to check your coin, 30-9. Visual step-by-step demo of inspecting a dime with magnifying glass. Narrator, so how can you find out if your 1,963 dime is valuable? Here's a quick checklist. 1. Check the date, make sure it's 1963. Look for mint mark. D for Denver or S for San Francisco are key. 3. Inspect the torch. Are the lines sharp and clear? 4. Use a magnifier. Look closely for doubling in letters or unusual edges. 5. Weigh it. Should be around 2.5 grams for silver dimes. Anything way off? Could be a minting error. If your coin checks even a couple of these boxes, you might be sitting on something really valuable. Ending in call to action, 910. Visual, coins glittering on a table. Zoom out to narrator holding one up. Narrator, so the next time you come across a handful of old coins or find a dusty box of change in the attic, don't ignore the dimes, especially if they're from 1963. Could lead to a big discovery, and maybe even a big payday. A comment below. You never know, we might help you identify a rare gem. And if you found this video fascinating, hit that like button, subscribe for more hidden coin treasures, and turn on the bell so you never miss a valuable find. Because sometimes treasure isn't buried in the ground, it's already in your pocket. Outro music fades in. Visual, channel logo, and recommended video.